G'day and welcome to another video. In today's video we're going to learn how to make a witch's hat, just in time for Halloween. So I'm just going to change the angle of the hat so you can see what it looks side on. Now I've actually posed the end of the hat like that. It will sit straight up as well, or you can pose it in any direction that you like. So let's get started on the lesson. I'm going to be using Red Heart Super Saver in worsted weight, and it is the pumpkin colour. Love this colour for Halloween stuff, it's really good. You're going to need a stitch marker, very important. You can use a bobby pin, a safety pin, a piece of yarn, a proper stitch marker, whatever you like. A pair of scissors, a sewing needle with a big eye on the end, and also a crochet hook to go with your yarn. I've got a 5.5mm hook, or a size I. And this hook was supplied by Moonshadow Threads. You can find Moonshadow Threads on Facebook, and I will put a link below. These are absolutely adorable and very, very comfortable to use as well. These are my new favourite hooks. So putting our little pieces aside, we're going to start with a magic ring. And there are plenty of ways to do this, but you can use it the way you like, or you can do how I do it. So you've got the piece in your left hand is your short bit, your tail, and the piece in your left hand is the bit that's attached to the yarn ball. You're just going to put a loop down like so, put your left hand over your right hand, and just place one on top of the other. And I seem to have a knot there, but we won't worry about that. It's all good. So we're putting our hook into the middle of our circle. I'm placing my pointy finger on there just to hold it secure. Picking up my yarn, and I'm going to work a chain one. So grabbing my yarn, pulling it through the loop, through the middle of the circle, and working a chain one. And what we want to do is start with 6 half double crochets. So we're going to yarn over, go into the loop, and I'm working on my tail as well, so the tail is just laid over the top as well. Pull up a loop, we've got 3, yarn over, pull through all 3. Now in this project I assume that you know how to do a half double crochet, and we're going to be using increase as well, which is just 2 half double crochets in the same stitch. So that's my first stitch. I'm not going to count the chain 2 as my first. That was my first half double crochet. So back into the center, pull up a loop, pull through 3, that's 2, 3, 4. Now you can tighten up your circle now if you like to, a little bit, make it easier to work with. 5 and 6. Now you can pull that tight, and this project is going to be worked in the round, so there's not going to be rows. We're not going to join and chain up. We're going to make it continuous so there's no ugly seam on our hat. So what we want to do now is continue working around, so we're just going to go straight into the stitch that's over here. This is our first half double crochet of our round, making sure we've got 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So we're going to go into, we're going to yarn over first and then go into that stitch, going under both loops. Then we're going to yarn over, pull through and work our half double crochet. Now you want to find your good old stitch marker, whichever it will be. You're going to place it into the stitch that we just did. And this is to remind us that when we come around that we're on to our next round. But because we're not working in rows, it's just going to be continuous, so we're not going to know when to stop. So this stitch marker is perfect for that. So this row we want to work 6 stitches again. So this is our first one here, that's number 1. Going into the next stitch, Oops. Working our half double crochet, going again, so that's 3, so working around. This is quite a tight piece of crochet that we've got here, so it could be a little bit fiddly, but don't worry, it's going to get bigger in a minute. It's only this round that we have to fight with it. So we're going around, and we're going to go around until we get back to this stitch marker. Now if you'd like, it's starting to curl inwards because it's so tight. Flip it and do it that way. That might make it a bit easier for us to work into our stitches. So there we go, we're back to our stitch marker. We've just done that one, and we should have 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and that's where our stitch marker is. So now we want to, so from now on we work an increase round, and then on the next round there's no increase, so it's just 1 in every single stitch. And that, because we're doing every second row is going to be an increase and every second row is not going to have any increases, it's going to make that long pointy part at the top, and it's going to gradually get wider, very gradually, because we're going to only increase once. So in the next stitch we're going to do a half double crochet. Don't forget to move your stitch marker, so we're going to move it up into the stitch. So somewhere on this round we are going to make an increase. So it doesn't matter where it is, as long as you do it before you get back to your stitch marker. So I'm going to do it in the next stitch. Like I said, it doesn't matter where you do it. You could do it in a couple of more stitches time. So that's my increase. And what we did is we worked 2 half double crochets into that same stitch. Sorry if I didn't explain that properly. So I'll just show you that again if you like. My increase was 2 half double crochets into the next stitch. So there's my stitch. So that's 1 half double crochet, going back down into the same stitch and working another half double crochet. Now an increase in any pattern is just 2 of the same stitch. So 2 half double crochets or 2 double crochets into that same stitch. So now we just want to do 1 half double crochet in every stitch around until we find our stitch marker. It's very fiddly because it's so small. If you're not used to working with little small pieces, it's quite fiddly. So persevere, it is going to get easier, I promise. Okay, so we've got 1 stitch here because our stitch marker's in the next one, and we're going to go in there. Okay, so because we worked an increase on the round we just did, this next round there is no increases. So we're going to just take our stitch marker out and work a stitch. We're going to put our stitch marker back because we want to remember for the next row where we're up to, and we're working 1 in every stitch, because on the row before, see there it is here, we worked our increase. So we're just working around. We're just doing 1 half double crochet in every stitch. So there's 1 more here. And now we're back to our stitch marker. So because on the row we just did, we didn't do any increases, this next row we need to do 1 increase. So we're going to take that out just while we do our first stitch. So it's all half double crochet, so do our first, put our stitch marker back, I know it can be annoying removing and putting it back all the time, but trust me, it keeps the place where you're up to, and once you've lost where you're up to, if that stitch marker comes out, it's extremely hard to find where you were. Okay, so we need to work half double crochet, and when we're working our increases, try not to put them in exactly the same spot when you do your increase, like sort of shuffle it around. So down here, where is it? Here, I've done my increase, so I don't want to put my other one up here. So I'm going to do a few more stitches. My increase is here, so I'll just do one more, and then I'm going to work an increase. So it's 2 half double crochets into the same stitch. So we want to keep going until we get to our stitch marker, so I've only got one left. So back to our stitch marker, we're going to just remove that one. We're going to work one stitch, and we're going to put our stitch marker back. We're going to work no increases on this round, because remember the one before we just did one, so this row there's no increases. So just continue 1 half double crochet in each stitch. Notice how it's gradually getting easier to work with, because our opening up the top here is getting wider. Ever so slightly, but it is getting wider. Just that 6 stitches is really quite tricky to work with. So we're back to our stitch marker, so we want to remove it. And then, all thumbs today. Work 1 half double crochet. We're going to put that back, and that was the row we did no increase, wasn't it? So let's just double check, make sure we're doing it right. Yes, so there was no increases on that last round, so guess what? We want to do an increase on the next round. So I'm just going to work it in the next stitch. So it's 2 half double crochets into that stitch, and then because I know I've done my increase, it's 1 in every stitch around. So we're alternating between a increase round and a no increase round. And we're going to keep doing this until altogether we have 12 stitches. So I've got 1 stitch here, and then there's my stitch marker, so just put 1 more stitch in, and then we're going to take out our stitch marker, work 1 stitch, put it back where it was, into the stitch. Well, not where it was, but into that stitch there. And now because we worked increasing on that row, you guessed it, there's no increases on this row. Oops. So if you don't want this long skinny part here quite as long, you could ignore some of the rounds where we don't do an increase. Ignore some of those rounds. So if you want it shorter, where we're working just 1 stitch in every one, don't do that row, and then like skip that row and then do your increase row again. That's how you could make your little top pointy bit shorter. I feel like I'm going to sneeze in a minute. No, it's gone. So just 1 in every stitch until we get to our stitch marker. And there he is, so we know we're at the start of a new round. Sorry, a new row. Round, row. It's round because there's no rows. I always get confused with that. Sorry, I really do. It's really easy, but you know, small things. So remove your stitch marker, go into the next for a half double crochet, put your stitch marker back. So you probably got the hang of this by now, but I'm going to keep showing you each step so no one gets lost if they're just beginning. So now, yep, you guessed it, it's time for an increase row, because the last one I'm just making sure we didn't do any increases. So let's just count our stitches first, make sure we haven't gone past 12. I don't think we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So no, we've still got a couple to go. So I'm going to put the increase around the other side of the round. I think it's called round because we're working around. That makes sense, doesn't it? And then if we're working in rows, it's a row. Pretty sure that's how it goes. I don't really work continuous like this very much, so that's probably why it's confusing me. Okay, so I'm nearly back to my stitch marker. I'm going to work an increase. Now the reason we're spreading these increases out is I'm pretty sure, I haven't actually tested the theory, but if we put them all on the same side, it's going to make our pointy bit slanty. So if that's the look you're going for, you could probably try that theory, and your pointy bit here is probably going to start to curl over. Okay, so where's my stitch marker? There it is. I still have one stitch to go. And because we worked an increase there, it's time for a non-increase round. So get him out of the way. Put him back. So it's just one in every stitch around. Now if you get this already and you can see how we're doing an increased row and then the next row we're not doing any increases, next one's an increased row, next row is not, you can keep going on until you get to 12. So you want 12 stitches around the opening of our hat here. At the moment it's probably going to fit like Barbie. It's not really going to fit anyone yet. But if you want to continue on and sit with me and go along with me, of course you're more than welcome, because I'm not going anywhere. Okay, so let's just check our stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 I think it is. Let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, yes, 11. So no increases on that round, so you know what's next. So as you know, we just moved our stitch marker because we just did our first stitch. So where did I work my increase from my previous row of increase? It's here. See how there's two coming out of the one? So I don't want to work it over here, so I'm going to work it. Whenever I say work it, I think of models. You know, work it. Work it, baby. Alright, so I'm going to work my increase here. And then continue on until we get to our stitch marker. So this should be 12, and then if this is 12, that means we've reached the part where I wanted to stop with the increasing, and we change what we do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, so this next round is just 1 in each stitch. So I just need to pop that out for a sec. And when we get to a stitch marker, we're going to stop, because I need to go and get a drink. I've been talking for 20 minutes. I'm a bit thirsty. So after we get to the stitch marker, I'm going to go and run away and grab a drink, but to you you won't even notice. So you can pause the video here if you would like a break also. And then we can continue on with the next part of our hat. And so far, this is what it looks like. So hang on, and we'll be on to the next part of the video.